so it is February 14th, almost 5 o'clock, and I guess I don't know if I'm gonna post this yet. The reason is because I am looking at another car, which is where we're heading in a few minutes here. So that means that the WRX is gonna go. But yeah, there's this car that I've been wanting since I was a kid, and I think this will be the great opportunity or the best opportunity to buy it. So like I said, I don't want to jinx anything. I still have to go and check it out. And if I end up buying the car, you guys will see this video. But if not, then obviously it never happened. So don't get me wrong, I love the WRX, but I think it's time to move on to something else. So I'll bring you guys along with us, and then we'll see where we end up. Okay, I forgot to say we are heading to Longview, Washington. It's about an hour and 20 minutes away from us because that's where the car is located. So got about 33 minutes before we get there, and yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. Okay, just pulled up to the Honda dealership. Oh yeah, I guess it is a Honda I'm looking at. I didn't say that yet. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I'm super excited to announce the new car to the channel. This is a 2006 Honda S2000. So like I mentioned before, the S2000 is one of my realistic dream cars, and I'm very fortunate to be able to have one sitting in my garage right here. Yes, I had to sacrifice getting rid of the WRX, but trust me, if you felt what I felt during that moment, you would have done the same thing. I'll miss the WRX. It was my baby, and I've done everything I could possibly want with that car. But as soon as I saw this one, I knew I had to at least check it out. So this is from a dealership up in Longview, Washington. And as soon as I saw it posted, I decided to go ahead and look at it. But before seeing the posting online, I had no intentions of getting rid of the car. I just went with my gut and decided to look at this one right here. I mean, it's one of those goals that I'm proud to check off the bucket list, and I'm just really excited to finally have one sitting in my garage. So just a little bit about the car. So this is a 2006 model, meaning it's the AP2, and when I picked it up, it had 46,800 miles. So it only had 10,000 miles more than my WRX, and for being a 2006, do the math, that is considered a low mileage car. So I'm a little delayed on the video, but I've had the car for almost a month. I'll get into what I've done with it so far. I mean, visually, there's nothing there, and it's completely stock, but I want to go over all the little things I've done throughout the 4+ weeks that I've had it. But let me bring you guys closer into the cockpit here. So look, it's just timeless. I mean, yes, it looks old, but it has this timeless look to it, and I'm just in awe every time I look at it. So I'm gonna step inside here real quick. So right now it has 46,905 miles, which again is insane for a 2006. So like I said, I've changed a couple things on the car, and one of the first things that I upgraded was the stereo. As you can imagine, from 2006, didn't have Bluetooth, and it only had a CD player, which I don't have any more CDs left, and so I had to switch it up with the Kenwood. I got this one specifically just because you could change the color of the lighting, and I set it to where it matches the digital gauge right here. And I also got the DCI, so this stuff right here works. I can link everything in the description or go over it in a separate video, but yeah, like I said, I just wanted to go do an overview of all this stuff that I've done so far. But this stereo right here is a game changer. I know it still looks outdated. It probably is, but it was better than what I had before. And I actually have Bluetooth now and this little stupid microphone that I had to reroute. So it works. And the only other thing that I did to the car was I bought some new tires. The ones that it came with were pretty crappy, and so I knew I wanted to replace them right away. And what I ended up getting were some Michelin Pilot Sport All-Season 4s. I've had really good experience with the Pilot Sport 4S's, but given that this is a new car to me and I still am learning how to drive it, I wanted to be safe and get something that I can drive in the rain. Just, you know, if I get caught in a storm or something like that, or if the temperature drops, I wanted to be able to safely drive it. And I know that the all seasons, especially the Pilot Sport all season 4s, have good ratings, and so that is why I stuck with this tire and not the 4S's. And as far as the engine goes, it's pretty much all stock, aside from this Password JDM strut tower bar that it came with. Everything else is stock, even the intake, which I'm thankful for that it has the stock intake box, the air box. Like I said, there's nothing else that's done to the car. And as far as modifications go, I know I'm gonna disappoint a lot of people, but so far, as of right now, I don't have any intentions to modify the hell out of this car like I did with the WRX. My goal is to keep it as stock as possible, aside from maybe an exhaust and maybe suspension, brakes. My goal is to keep it as stock as possible for as long as I can. And my number one priority right now is to make sure that this thing runs properly and that it lasts me a long time. I know it is a Honda, but you still got to take care of it. And I do my best to take care of all my stuff. After doing a lot of research, the first thing that I think needs to be addressed is the valve adjustment. So if you drive an S2000, and I don't know exactly what the symptoms are, but every so miles, your valves need to be adjusted. And so I have plans in the near future to get that done. And if we scroll back here, I know the dealer changed the oil already, but I wanted to go ahead and replace that myself. Went ahead and replaced the transmission fluid, and it helped a whole bunch. It's a great transmission, and I can't believe how accurate it is and how good it feels, especially after you change the fluid. And then I also have some coolant here in the back, which I plan on replacing as well. The diff fluid, again, the dealer replaced this already, but I want to do my own work since I really do not trust those guys. Then we got spark plugs right here, should be an easy swap. And we have the serpentine belt, which looks pretty simple to replace. It's right there in the front, and so I'll be doing that as well. And then here, big shout out to LHT Performance. They are a shop based, I believe, in Florida, and they mainly focus on S2000s. I watched a whole bunch of their videos just to get an idea of what things need to be changed on the S2000, so shout out to you guys. One thing that they did mention was the pulleys right here. These things have bearings in there and they tend to wear out over time, and so they recommend replacing those. And so I got the bearings right here. Also, big shout out to Modify. Modify sells a bunch of stuff for the S2000, like these straps right here. So being that it's a 17-year-old car, the elasticity on the straps for the soft top wears out over time, and this is just a direct replacement for those. I also got the DCI unit and harness from Modify, so big shout out to you guys. But yeah, like I said, I'm doing all of this gradually. I don't want to do it all at once just because it's been a busy past few weeks. But I'm still researching and learning as much as I can about the S2000. And I don't remember if I mentioned, but yes, it is a clean title S2000. It has all 10 VINs throughout the entire car, each panel, so that means that none of it has ever been replaced. And just judging from the interior, it looks like it was well maintained. There's no tears or anything like that in the seats, which I'm thankful for since I'm pretty sure these are hard to find. I mean, just any OEM part from 2006 is scarce and it's very hard to find, so just kind of got lucky on that aspect of it. So yes, like I said, I'm going to be stereotypical and say that I don't want to modify too much, so that means I want to keep the engine as stock as possible. Maybe an intake, I'm not sure. I got to look into the whole tuning aspect of it, but I don't want to go through that entire phase where I replace every single thing of the car, because going back to stock is not easy. It took me a while to go back to stock on the WRX, which I can get into that in a separate video, but bottom line is the WRX runs, and it runs properly, and it will pass emissions. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to modify this car too much, but if you Honda folks know of any good coilovers or exhausts out there, exhaust that's not too loud. I know the NVIDIA, I believe the N1 is really, really loud, and I'm not looking for that since it does have a soft top, and so I don't want too much drone. If you guys know me, my WRX was one of the quietest ones out there, and that's what I'm kind of going for with the S2000. More of a mature old man build, but not too old, you know, just something that's within my preference. So any coilovers, exhaust, brakes from you Honda folks, just drop them in the comments below and I will look into that. So yeah, the Honda is a different world to me. That's why I'm asking for your guys' help and opinions. I don't know if you guys know this, but I had a 95 Del Sol a few years ago, but only for a couple years. That was as close as I got to a Honda. So this S2000 is just an entirely different animal to me. I can tell you right now that it drives amazingly and the shifts are just indescribable. It's so accurate. I'm not even exaggerating. It just, every single shift feels so good in this platform, and I am hoping that I can see what everyone is talking about when they say that the S2000 is one of the greatest driver's car. I don't see it yet. You know, I haven't owned it long enough and I don't have much experience with it, but I'm excited to get into that in the future. And on a side note, I did mention part out. I parted out the WRX. This is all I have left of it. I sold most of my parts. I still have the intercooler, charge pipe, and the cob intake, and TGV EGR deletes, catch cans, but I have a couple buyers lined up already. So if you're local, hit me up. I might have a couple parts left over, but like I said, most of it has already been sold. And a big shout out to the buyers. I really appreciate you guys making the transaction easy. I don't like dealing with random folks, but the ones I've met so far, you guys have been solid. So if you guys are watching this video, thank you guys. Shout out to you. But yeah, that's about it. Like I said, my goal for this video was just to introduce the car, the build, whatever you want to call it. I know you guys were wondering what I replaced the WRX with, and this is it right here. I didn't want to make this video too long, so in another video, I'll probably go over more in depth about the car. So just be on the lookout for that. So yeah, that is the new car. Let me know what kind of content you guys want to see out of this thing. For now, I'm going to stick with what I said earlier and just maintain it and make sure that they can last me a very long time. Like I said, I've wanted one of these since I was a kid, and being able to check off that goal is just a weird but good feeling, and I'm very fortunate to be able to do this. Big shout out to my wife. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have the courage to even do something like this. I had a perfectly good working car and I got rid of it to get this 17-year-old car. I'm just glad to have that support system and a wife that supports, you know, my hobbies. So before I close out the video, I just wanted to say thank you if you're watching this. I know I probably disappointed a lot of people by getting rid of the WRX, but like I said, at the end of the day, this was one of my dream cars and I decided to go with what I felt was right. So if you decided to stick around, I really, really appreciate you. I still have a Subaru. I'm still Subaru at heart. You know, we got the Outback parked in the front and I have a lot of plans for that thing. But yeah, this is just something new to me and something I am excited about. If I didn't say it before, I'm gonna say it again. I don't want any of you to think that I ditched you by getting rid of the WRX. I know it's probably blown out of proportion in my head, but that's just how I feel. You guys can still access me for what I know. I'm always happy to share what I know about that platform, and I'm always here to help. So just drop a comment, leave a message on my Instagram, anything. I'm pretty easy to access, and I'll be happy to just, you know, have a conversation with you. I think that's about it for now. I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.